And welcome to Breakin Broncos podcast. I am your host, Dan Wetstein. And as always, my co-host, Dylan Miles, is back from the brink of death. We have drug him back, dug him out of the dirt, and set him back in front of the camera for you all so we can enjoy his takes on the Broncos because we are, as always, here to talk about your Denver Broncos. And as always, we appreciate you. Nika, hey, how you doing? Let's go ahead and jump into this. We got two really ugly games to talk about since we weren't here last week. We got two games to talk about. They both kind of sucked, but it is what it is. First off, we got the Broncos falling in Baltimore. Is there a rock bottom for this team, and have we seen it?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that Baltimore game definitely was rock bottom.
Definitely offensively. I don't see how you go any further. I don't see how you go any further.
Hotly beat you. That's on you.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. Like the thing that I've gotten the most pushback on is the fact that the reason I believe that game was rock bottom is the supposedly great defense allowed Tyler freaking Huntley to drive 5 minutes off of the clock. It was like a 13-play drive and score a touchdown with nothing but 30 seconds left on the clock. And again, it is Tyler freaking Huntley. So this game, to me, is on the defense. That's why it was rock bottom. For almost the entire season up until this point, I mean, there's a couple moments you might be like, hey, I would like the defense to do something a little bit more there. Mm-hmm. But this was the first real time that you just watched another team run it down this defense's throat, throw it wherever and do whatever they wanted in one of the most crucial moments of the season.
It's just how
broke them.
I was just saying, then just how do you do that, like lose like that to the Ravens and still almost beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean,
hey, definitely... screw NBC. You should have kept that Monday night game. That was a way better game than Miami, the Chargers.
Right. Yeah,
I get why you flex it, but
yeah, up until that moment, like I understand, I completely get the TV producers and then wanting to swap out those games because Miami did look a lot better than the Broncos, but yeah, that Chiefs game much better. But we'll get into that just in a moment. Baltimore made 0 sense outside of the fact of the offense being bad, but how good again can this offense be when you have so many guys that you pulled up off the practice squad that are supposed to protect Russell Wilson. Wilson is the most sacked, the most hit, the most hurried quarterback in the league. In the top 5 in that category, the most hit quarterbacks, there's only one that has a winning record, and the cracks are starting to show in that team, and that's Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. They are literally the only team in the top 5 that has a 500 or above 500 record. In the top 10, there's only 2, and that is the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson, and then again Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. Only two teams in the top.
That's
in the top
they've been
10
fun to
stat.
watch.
Yes, but the thing is, like, I have to put this on the defense. Everybody wants to be like, oh, the offense has to score more than 9 points. Why? Why do they have to score more? Why do they have to score more than 9 points? They gave this defense a 9-3 lead, a 6-point lead with 5 minutes on the clock, with Tyler freaking Huntley as the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. If it was Lamar Jackson, I would give them all the credit in the world. We would be having a
and that drive probably would have ended quicker.
Yes. This one says, like, at some point, just let them score. Like almost like the Green Bay Packers against the Broncos in the Super Bowl back in '97. Like the Packers.
Yeah, like the pass to the Giants too, and that had to be that was the second time around, so that was 44 or 5, whichever one that was.
One of those two.
6. It would have been 6.
What are some of those numbers? One of those numbers.
I know my numbers. Yes. It was 6.
He's like, I can do math sometimes. Just don't ask.
I only know years when it comes to football knowledge.
On camera, people.
No, it was 46 because then 47 was the Ravens, Niners, 48 was Broncos, Seahawks, and then Pats, Seahawks, and the Broncos, Panthers.
And this is why you don't do math on camera. So moving on from there. But yes, no, I'm sure you're right somewhere in there. I don't know the exact name.
Oh, I know I'm right.
You're going to be better than me. You're going to be better than me on that. But again, this defense was given a 6-point lead with only 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You have either got to let them drive it down the field or you got to stop him. And to be so angry at Russell Wilson and them when they, again, even after all of that, the 5-minute drive, there's only 30 seconds on the clock. The Broncos have no timeouts. They still get it to within a point where
they need to score a touchdown too.
They almost got the game-winning field goal with time expiring by Brandon McManus, where it fell about 5 yards short. If you give Russell Wilson 10 more seconds in that scenario, I guarantee you he gets the 5 extra yards, and McManus makes that field goal.
Oh, yeah.
And we're having a whole different conversation.
That's the second time he has shot out more than 66 yards this season and almost made both.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. It's like the offense almost came back and won it for him anyways. So the Baltimore game is on the defense. I don't care about your fifis. I don't care about your historical data, about your BS about, historically with teams that have this good of nobody cares. It doesn't matter. Historical data is for nothing other than creating context and what could happen, not what should. So many idiots
what should.
Exactly. It's not what should, it's what could happen. And so many idiots want to sit around either on Twitter or in my face and try and throw historical data at me like it means something. It doesn't. You just sound like an idiot. Shut up, sit down, get out my face. You're wrong. I don't care what teams did historically. What did this team do on this Sunday? I don't care what the 72 Dolphins or the 67 Steelers or the 85 Broncos. None of that matters. And another thing, the same argument is made that this is the worst offense ever. Okay, this isn't the worst offense in the league.
Yeah, that's
They're ranked 19th in yards. They're ranked 18th in passing yards. They're ranked 25th in scoring now. So if they're not the worst offense in this season, how are they the worst offense ever?
Worst offense ever. I don't even know who takes the cake on that one.
So many.
Probably. I would give it to the 08 Lions.
Yes. Yeah, I mean that's one, but I mean there's actually worse. Like if you look in like
no, they are historically. It would go to the Bucks for sure.
The Bucks, the winless Bucks, and then it's like I think it's the 82 Redskins scored like less than 10 points a game.
Yeah, that was the replacement year.
Yes,
that was the strike. I'm pretty sure.
So, bro, like, come on, let's actually go and look at things. And like, this is the funniest thing to me is I've actually had this actually happen just yesterday. I had somebody make an argument to me, making claims on facts. They called them facts, but then immediately after admitted they did zero research. You cannot call something a fact if you haven't researched it to see if it's a fact. It's an assumption at that point. So
yeah, I'll take it.
Let's all of you just calm, sit down. This is going to be a very rough ride. And it is because the offense sucks, yes, but the offense doesn't just suck. That's the thing that everybody wants to say is, they just suck. But again, in this game, you saw Cortland Sutton go down, yet another injury. And everybody wants to say next man up. Where is the next man?
We're running out of next man up.
Exactly. Like, where's the next man?
We're have to go pull a stock boy from Walmart.
Yeah, we just had to pull up Quinn Bailey and Natani Moody from the practice squad to play left guard and right tackle.
Granted, I will say
that's out of the 12 games the Broncos have played, they've had 10 different sets of linemen. That means 10 out of 12 weeks, there's 5 guys that have never played together that are now playing together.
And I'm just sitting here
in an NFL game.
And watching just the game yesterday, too, I'm sitting here, how with a line this bad, Russ is still getting hit, still getting sacked, are they in this game?
I'm saying in all of these games, like that's the most disrespectful thing to me is the way that people have tried to question Russell Wilson's toughness and his want to win and his will.
And I wanted to bring something up about this too.
Go ahead.
And yesterday, all the people that you see trash talk on the internet, once Russ takes that hit, he earned my respect. He didn't earn respect for like the 30 other hits he took like that.
He hasn't earned your respect for playing almost 3 months now with a torn muscle in his throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
Throwing shoulder.
Shoulder. Taking hits left and right, sacrificing his body, and then that's what does it.
Hit quarter. I'm going to keep beating this into people's heads.
That man earned my respect after he got dominated by Max Crosby in the first Raiders game.
The most disrespectful thing I've heard actually came from my brother-in-law. I brought up the fact that Russell Wilson has been playing with a torn muscle in his shoulder, and he says, I don't care. That doesn't matter. The only thing I have to say right now to that is I want him to go outside, have somebody videotape him throw a ball. He doesn't even have to tear a ligament. He just needs to go outside and throw a ball, and then we're going to post it up, and we're going to ask if he has the right to say anybody that with any quarterback that it doesn't matter, you have a torn muscle. Because I'm telling you right now, he has the weakest arm ever. So and it's guys like that drive me nuts. The Skip Baylesses, the Stephen A. Smiths that sit out here and they question.
Speaking of Bayless, did you see him get lit up this morning?
Oh, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to inject that into we are going to talk about. So yes, I have, and yes, I know we're going to have a lot of
that one. Hilarious, and I hit my desk too hard.
Yep. That was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen. So that's the tease y'all will get. But yes, we are going to talk about Skip and Shannon. If y'all have not seen what Skip did to Shannon, go ahead. We will show you. I will find the clip on YouTube and I will share it and I will show you because it is the most disrespectful.
Without like going into too much, it was just the stupidest argument.
It's the dumbest. But that's just. But this does lead into the argument. No, but it's perfect. It leads into the argument I'm making is these guys questioning these men's toughness.
Yeah.
Bro, I guarantee you, if you go and stub your toe, you're out of work for a couple.
Bro, I watched Phillip Rivers play on a torn ACL and almost beat the Patriots in the title game.
In the playoffs, not just a regular, in the playoffs. The man went out and
AFC Championship.
We rag on. Yeah, that's a guy we rag on, but we have the utmost respect for.
I love Phillip Rivers. I hated him. I hated him in San Diego.
Yes, I would never question that man. I would never question anybody's toughness.
That man is a football player through and through.
Yeah,
and that's what Mark Schlereth said. If you're based off position, that doesn't matter. If you're a football player, that's what matters.
Yes, exactly.
It's the most respect you can give a man.
So speaking of respect, let's talk about what earned the respect of so many pundits that have been ragging.
You mean
on
dumbasses?
Russell Wilson. Yeah, there you go. That's a better name. But the Broncos did fall short versus the Chiefs. Some want to call it a moral victory. I just say there's some positives. Like I don't want to say
there were plenty of positives.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, that's a moral victory because that's just lame to me. Like
I liked what Zach Stevens said about it.
Yes. Positive things. There's positive things to take out. And it's honestly the first time since probably the Jacksonville game that we've really been able to sit back and be like, there's some really positive things. There's some things that could actually work, that could actually move on. But this game showed that if you just gave Russ a little bit of time, he's going to find his guys. But he needs a little bit of time, and he hasn't been getting that as we've been talking about this offensive line. But I really think that this game really kind of closed the door on anything special or magical happening in Broncos country. We saw Russ get knocked out. That play everybody knows where he was unconscious on the field. This is where supposedly that's what I guess hurting your mental health is what is required to gain the respect of the local media here in Denver, however pathetic that is. But with that being said, should Russ be shut down at this point? Like, there's really nothing left to play for. Do you want to see him get back out on the field this season?
I would love to. Don't get me wrong, but if he's trying to rush back from something that he shouldn't, then no, I don't want to see him out there. What's the updates? I've been out of the loop today.
Today, Nathaniel Hackett said that Russ was feeling great, but they would do everything the right way. So really vague. They're saying he feels better, but we all know with concussions, next day you might feel better, but then the next day you feel like
as I say, every day's different.
So yeah, every day's different. So I mean,
because
at
this
point,
dude, did you see his eyes?
I'm saying he was out, bro. He was gone.
Yeah,
they were glazed over, like the
rolling back,
and nobody was home. Nobody was home. Like
see,
he was trying to walk back onto the field after they got him off the field. He was so he was gone.
out.
Like,
and
there was nothing else.
The one thing I will give, I will say the one thing I really liked about the situation, was once they finally got him off the field, went into the blue tent. We let Brett rip through that touchdown back of the end zone. Russ came out, congratulated everybody, went back to the locker room.
Yep, and it was done. And
he's like, you're running the game now. So it's on. I'm not saying like it's on you. You're running the game now. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And this is my thing is like at this point, there's not really much else that can be done. I hate to make a guy a sacrificial lamb, but I would honestly rather see Brett ripping behind that sieve of an offensive line before Russ ends up with an injury that's going to cost him time next year.
Right.
At this point, I don't care about this season. This season's over. We're going to
let's give Brett some stock.
5 pick. Yeah, give Brett some time. He's a free agent this offseason.
And who knows? Let him prove himself.
Right. He might just mess around, go out there and win a couple of games.
Hey, go out there, win a couple, maybe find some interest in some teams, secure your spot here as the backup, learn some more behind Russ.
Just show that you can be a viable backup in this system.
And and yesterday he did partly like for the short time he was in there. I mean, he threw a touchdown and a beautiful pass too in the back of the end zone over a defender.
I guess we're actually answering this question, and I didn't even know it. We're doing it right now. But do you think Brett will start for the next game, and how will you think? At this point, I hope he does, because that was nasty. Like, between the unconsciousness, the fact that he had.
I didn't even notice that until they came back from break and showed it.
I have never seen somebody get a knot with a helmet on. Like, I have literally knocked me and a teammate out in pregame warmups, like knocked us both unconscious, and neither one of us had a welt, and it was helmet on helmet.
Yeah.
So, and I played the game like that. That's the most insane thing that I think about, like the things that I played through in high school that they won't even let NFL players play through now. Maybe it's part of what's wrong with me. I do believe Brett Rippon will play.
I would too.
I think he will do well. Like, they're playing the Cardinals, who have a very bad secondary. Jerry Jeudy going off for 3 touchdowns.
The first time since
yesterday.
DT.
Yes. How about
I can't believe
that. The day that they are celebrating DT, it's like.
But then it's still like.
We are 7 days away from. Yeah, we are 7 days away from his birthday. His birthday is December 19th.
And I was just sitting here. I go, how is that like?
Yeah,
it's been
how
7
about that? 3
years.
But
and then I'm like, that's awesome and all. Then I think about it, I'm like, you're telling me no receivers had a 3 touchdown game?
Well, look at the quarterbacks.
I know, but I'm sitting there like, you would have thought Court might have had one.
Yeah, I know he's had a couple. Yeah, Court's had a couple of 2 touchdown games, but yeah, it wasn't.
I would have thought Court had one at least.
Like at least one, right?
Right.
But no, nothing since DT. But I do believe Brett will be good. I will not say that he's going to guarantee a win or anything, but I think that's probably the best defense left on the schedule for Brett Rippon to go in and get his first, actually second start of the season, because he did start one earlier this year.
Trying to find this tweet,
and he played a decent game earlier. So I mean, I think Brett is a very serviceable backup that can win you some games,
like a Bubby Brister type, Matt Hoyer type.
Yeah. Exactly. Gary Kubiak type.
Yeah, Kubiak. And I'm
one of the oldest and best QBs in the league, and this year has been whipping. Yeah, speaking of Brady, I think this is going to be Brady's last season. Like,
I wouldn't surprise me.
At the very least, he is not playing for Tampa next year.
No, I saw some rumor floating around, and it was from a source within the craft, like, I don't know what you would call that, office,
What's
whatever.
That?
There was a rumor, it's somewhere like surrounding like Kraft's, like some of his like employees, I don't remember, that he wants to bring Brady back for one more year.
Oh my goodness.
I was like,
That
damn,
would
I
be-
forget how much of a hard-on he has for him.
I wonder if Belichick would quit at that point.
Belichick would probably just
Because Belichick
say
does
screw it
have,
and dip.
yeah, and he has the final, like, well, technically, I mean, obviously Robert Kraft can overrule him, but he's supposed to have the last say in personnel matters.
As he should.
He's one of the he's one of the reasons why Brady left. So
Yeah,
that would be an interesting
and
dichotomy.
If Belichick leaves, you want to come to Denver? I mean,
Hey,
I wouldn't mind having you in Denver.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad.
Belichick,
Jeez, I'm not even touching my desk.
But
we
can talk about that a bit more here in a little bit because we will be talking about possible coaching vacancies. But one last question, something I think everybody believes, but I want to hear you as well. Would the Broncos have finished the comeback if Russ was able to finish the game?
I think yes. I mean, dude, he was looking like vintage Russ out there. Like,
I agree.
Not just the second half, even the first half. Even though they weren't putting up numbers in the first half.
Yeah, he was making the rookie. Him and Judy were. I mean, they were putting those rookie.
And Jared was double teamed all day.
Spin cycle. Yeah, and they were just putting him in the spin cycle, like that wide open touchdown, the third touchdown, where Judy just made McDuffie look completely confused. He just standing there like, "Hey, I'm wide open over here," like just waiting for the ball.
That was a dart.
Excuse me.
Like
by Brett, yes, over the middle in the back of the end zone.
That was a good pass.
Beautiful throw. That was a beautiful throw. That showed a little bit actually extra arm that I thought Brett actually had.
See, and that's what I was saying. I was like, where was this against the Jets?
Right. Like, where did this all go? What happened? But yeah, I agree. I think that at the very least, the Broncos would have scored one more touchdown.
I feel like they are I feel like that game comes down to like the final play if Russ is still in the game.
Yes, I completely agree. It would have been even more insane. Like, it really got bogged down after he left. Brett Rippon had a real hard time finding his receivers with no time whatsoever.
I guarantee you, if Russ does play, like if he does end up coming back, like not just this next week, maybe like I bet you he doesn't play this next weekend, but if he does come back for the rest of the season, that KC game in Arrowhead is going to be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely amazing, especially
because I will go to my death saying this, that they would have won that game. He was out there trying to prove something. And
I'll die on that hill with you. Yeah, I'll die on that hill with you. But we've both pretty much agreed that this season's over. There's nothing really left to play for. But
it's just looking for the bright spots.
Right, yeah. So what would be a respectable end to this season at this point for you?
Let's see, because everybody's playing for their jobs at this point, coaching staff wise.
Oh, there's some players playing for it too.
Yeah, and some players. And I'm sitting here looking, and it's prove that you deserve to be on that field. Prove that you have what it takes. Josie Jewell definitely is proven himself. 2 picks. The first time that a linebacker has had 2 picks for the Broncos since Al Wilson in 2000.
And the first 2 picks of Jewell's career.
Right, in 22 years. 2000, Al Wilson was the last linebacker to have 2 picks in a game. That's some good company.
Did you hear who was Baron Browning after the game talking about that? They asked him, like, what did you think about Josie Jewell's 2 interceptions? Like, his response was, I didn't know he had hands. I love that so much.
Yeah, who would have thought that the hard hitting white boy had hands? That man was built to tackle and hit.
Yeah, his 40 time at the combine, it was timed with a sundial. Like, yeah. That's how slow he was.
But dude, he hit the gas on that second pick.
Yeah. The man just tackles. He's just a tackling machine. He had another 10 tackles yesterday. Kareem Jackson had 10 tackles.
Dude, Kareem stepped up yesterday.
Mathis out there laying the wood on.
On
that tackle on Jerick McKinnon on that third down or that second down that
hit stick.
Thought he was going to get that first. Boy, I've never seen somebody fly like that off of a cornerback. I thought it was Kareem Jackson.
Dude,
until I saw the number.
Who did he hit again? I forgot who it was.
It was Jerick McKinnon, the running back.
Dude,
The
Did
one
you
that
see
took
that man
stupid
fly?
pass.
Dude, that man is big.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Damari Mathis by a lot.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say a lot. He's a bit of a scat back, but he's definitely
I'm
bigger.
of,
And Damari Mathis is not. You're thinking of Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, that's
You're
who I was
their
thinking of,
power back.
Pacheco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McKinnon's their little scat back, the guy that came from San Francisco.
Oh, Pacheco's an animal.
Yeah, he runs. I mean, he finished that game like that.
And
when they got that ball the last time, they just handed it off to Pacheco.
And that's one of those where it's like you should have stopped him, but it's like hats off to him, man. That man ran hard. As much as I know, I hate the Chiefs. 5.4
yards per carry.
And I mean, dude, they were giving him everything, and he just wouldn't go down.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't like he was running off chunks. He had 13 carries for 70 yards. The longest run of the night for him was 10 yards, and that was on the final drive to seal the win. That was when he got the 10-yard jaunt. But I mean, Russell Wilson, even after getting hurt, he was the leading rusher. Boy had 4 rushes for 57 yards.
Yeah, they were not
19-yard long.
They were not letting Latavius Murray or Marlon Mack go anywhere.
Yeah, I wish they would have just committed to. I mean, they just really. Well, I couldn't say I wish they would because they had to go to the pass so early, being down 27-0. But they still had good averages. Latavius Murray averaged 4 yards per carry. Marlon Mack averaged 5 yards per carry.
How about Marlon Mack on that touchdown,
66-yard freaking screen.
Broke tackles, making moves.
I think that's the first screen pass that's went for a touchdown since Philip Lindsay.
I think that's the first screen pass that's gone for more than 10 yards in 10 years.
I swear.
Or not 10, but since 2015 at least.
At least 3. Yeah. So, I mean, it was nice. There's, like you said, there's plenty of positives from this game, and that's really what you're looking for going forward. It's like you said, a lot of these guys are going to get chances. Like Marlon Mack, he showed some flashes. Maybe he shows a little bit more, and he becomes that veteran back that they re-sign this offseason to bridge the gap between the beginning of the season whenever Javonte Williams can come back, or maybe him and Murray come back.
If you sign either of them to come back, I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to come back on a vet minimum. I mean,
both of those guys will come back just to play.
Latavius Murray's 32, so he's going to take
almost 33
on the field. Yeah, pushing. He'll be 30. He'll be almost 34 next year when the season starts. So, I mean, the guy's obviously up there. He's like a Frank Gore. He just hasn't been used enough to really, wear all the tread off. So he's got a little bit left in there. He's not going to.
And we've seen the moments.
A bunch of big runs, but we saw the
50-yard
run. Yeah, we've seen the 50-yard run. You've seen how he wears down defenses by handing him the ball. Big back, 6'3", about 230.
And the way after he gets hit, like especially a big hit, just goes back out there and just keeps going.
He's tough as nails, man. Like I can't remember him.
If you bring him down, he's going to come back and get past you the next time.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, Marlon Mack, he's got that little bit of shake and wiggle. He showed he still got that.
He's got that zip.
Yeah. After the knee injury that he was coming back from, so he showed that that was back. So I mean, these are the things you're going to look for. You're going to look for a Montreal Washington cementing his return role and maybe opening up more into the offense and being a receiver. Greg Dulcich continuing to
be a
potential beast. Woo. Oh yes, the bobble catch. I mean, Greg Dulcich has turned out to be everything that the hype made him. You always worry about those spring or those training camp wonders in that.
But even before that, just the draft.
Yeah, I know.
For a second round,
the man averaged 17 yards per catch in his senior season. We see why.
Was he a second rounder or third?
He was, I believe, a third rounder.
Yeah, because
he was their first third rounder.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because they took Nick Benito first. They took Nick Benito first in the second round.
Yeah, that was our only secect round pick. But I can't.
So Greg was definitely the third.
Yeah. Third round, 16th overall pick in the third round.
And even how about Nick Benito starting to step up, minus the offsides call?
And how about that number Nick Benito wears?
Yeah, I like that number.
The answer is 42, baby.
Yeah, keep that up. Keep that on. Don't switch numbers. You can't switch.
I'm telling you right now, if he keeps that number, I will buy a jersey this offseason just so I can wear number 42 with Benito on the back.
I still need to get me a Javonte jersey.
Yep, that's a good one. That's always going to be.
And that'll be my first ever jersey of an offensive player.
Now he better not get traded. All right, we'll fight.
It's still sitting over there.
Harbinger of things with you. All right. Oh, we got another comment here.
I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, we will. I don't miss us. I
don't miss him injured. I miss him on the field.
Yeah. I don't miss the fact that we're not going to have to pay that paycheck for the next
season. Yeah, no shit.
I think the Broncos would have tried to at least go into overtime, and Jerry Jeudy would have won the game in overtime. I like that thought. But
Dude,
the
Jerry,
thing is that the Broncos scored one more touchdown. All they had to do was score a touchdown and get the lead and just get an extra point, and that gave them the lead because they were down 34-28. So if they got another touchdown,
they would have been up by
34. Yeah. So
all I had to do was hold.
But that would have been a really fun scenario, right?
Oh, that
for him
awesome.
to get touchdown number 4, first time since Eric Decker in the famous 2013 season.
The fact that it was Eric Decker that had a 4 touchdown
know, isn't
game
that funny?
out of Wes Welker, Julius Thomas, Demarius Thomas.
All the guys now. I mean,
Eric Decker had the 4 touchdown game.
Yes, Eric Decker was the guy. Willis McGahee on that team.
Hey, nothing against him. Eric Decker was an animal.
And it was funny. It was against the team he played for the next season because it was against the Jets. And then
that's right.
That was his off season that was his season where he was a free agent.
And then he ended up over
the
there
Broncos
with Sanchez.
let him walk. Yeah, because they paid DT instead of AT,
that was DT's contract year.
Yeah, that was both their contract year because they were selected in the same draft, just like Hamler and Jeudy.
That's right. I always forget about that.
Yep.
Because, that does make sense. Then 2018, that adds up. 5-year contract.
Yep, you got it.
And then that next year was a manual, and I remember we were in class when that happened, and all of us were pissed.
Yes, most definitely. So, next up, after what is to play for, how do you fix it? Everybody's talking about, this offseason is going to be spent fixing this. How do you do it? Is a rebuild a possibility?
I don't know. I said this to a couple of people yesterday, a couple of dumbasses. They were saying, we need to find a new quarterback in the draft. I was like, you're not going to get, even with the first round that they got from Miami, you're not going to get a top quarterback in the first round. I was like, and why would you want one anyways? You go for linemen in the draft this year. You go for linemen in the draft. You look for linemen in the offseason. You look for linemen every goddamn day.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That the
people are idiots.
49ers, the 49ers need to learn how to lose. They're making.
How about Matt Purdy, brother?
That's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
Irrelevant. Yeah, Brock Purdy. Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant out here throwing 4 touchdowns.
That was fun.
Out there. That it really was. Christian McCaffrey, I love you, man. I think you're going to win me my championship in my league.
Which league?
Speaking
Ours?
of that, yes, ours. Thank you for Jerry Jeudy. I appreciate you dropping him about a month ago because he got me 30 points to win my game yesterday.
Jerry?
I swear you were the one that drafted him.
No, I didn't draft Jerry. I drafted Stephon
did you draft Court?
No, I didn't. The only one I drafted was Albert O, and that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But Schultz.
I mean, it was Schultz, an educated guess.
But Schultz and the Cowboys Schultz has been getting me numbers. No, I have Diggs and DJ Moore. Those are the 2 I took.
Actually, as I'm speaking about, let me
pull
up the standings here.
Because
dude. This fool right here, over here, might have actually backed his way into the playoffs.
I did. I already won. I won yesterday.
Yep, and I beat Callie. So I think that gives you a better record than her, and that should knock her out of the playoffs. Isn't that hilarious?
Wait.
It took the last one.
Oh, shoot.
It's not going to upgrade until tomorrow. It's not going to update till tomorrow.
Yeah.
But let's see, that would make you both 8-6. Did you play Callie?
No, we're in different sides. Well, I'm in the same one as you.
So I think with the tiebreakers, you might be able to sneak in. But
how the hell is she on top in that one? What's going on over there? Oh no, I did play Callie. Callie kicked my ass.
Oh, then
that was the week. That was the week. Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert were both on buys. Like I got screwed over that week. They were both on buys.
I feel it. That's why I lost to my wife.
I would have won. I lost a close one.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about close ones with you. I know you.
Yeah,
got a sore
shut the
spot
hell
with
up. I'm still
me.
butthurt, dude. I showed
I
my
bet
dad
you
that,
are.
dude. He couldn't even believe it.
I bet, but don't feel bad. I did it to somebody in my paid league too,
With
just
Kelsey?
last week. No, it wasn't with Kelsey. It was with who was it that got me? It was with McCaffrey last week.
Oh, dude, who would have thought?
20.
Who would have thought Christian McCaffrey leaves a crappy training staff, gets a good one, gets a good team, good line, good coach, and he wouldn't get hurt in stride? Who would have thought?
His old team still might win their division.
Which is nuts.
That is the most insane. The NFC South is the most insane division. Both South divisions.
It used to be the NFC
and
East.
NFC. Yeah. I mean, it's just
but you know
mind-boggling.
who I'm rooting for? This is my dark horse to make the playoffs and actually do a run.
Poor Nika.
The Lions.
We appreciate you having fun with us. That's all.
I'm sorry. Last week, dude. I think I played her last week.
Dude, yeah. It was
She almost beat me too. I had to make some adjustments before the day before because she was projected more points.
Yeah. She kind of just gave up at the end too. It didn't help things. But yeah, I played her recently. We won't talk about that score.
Oh God!
Again, we love you for joining us and having fun. That's all that matters.
But I was gonna say though,
consolation bracket, you could still win a consolation prize.
Right? I was gonna say, like,
but I gotta keep that trophy. That's my thing, and I gotta. I can't let Sam go out here and go undefeated.
Oh, dude, I know I'm losing in the playoffs. I just wanted to make it just to piss some people off.
I got you.
Hey, okay,
man, it's close.
But
we'll find out tomorrow.
But I mean, I got good players on good teams still, though that will still be winning. But dude,
and I backed into the playoffs in my paid league. I went on a 4-game losing streak because just like in our league, like everybody was getting hurt. And then now I'm on a 4-game win streak. So now I have a 7-7 record.
Yeah, I'm on a couple game win streak now.
Yep. You went from worst to almost first. And it's funny, all of the best teams are seemingly in the same division outside of Cali and the one.
Yeah, like what the hell is going on over there?
Unfortunately that division got almost
Santiago, dude. I'm disappointed.
It was just like almost all the first timers.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Santiago. That man,
he gave it a shot.
If we did a basketball one, he'd kick all of our asses though.
Yeah, he probably would. I don't have any much doubt about that.
While we're on the topic of players and teams now,
I think I've actually played fantasy basketball once.
Never done it.
I tried to do a hockey draft and I got so confused. And like, I love hockey. I got so I'm like, I don't know who to pick.
Like, and the NBA one looks a little more confusing than NFL. But I was say, while we're on the topic of like players and teams that did, like, I think I got a dark horse that could sneak their way in the playoffs and actually make like not like a Super Bowl run, but like a good run. And I think that's the Lions, dude. Have you been watching them?
Yes, won 5-6.
I have loved the Lions since they hired Campbell last year, or not Campbell.
Yes.
Oh, Campbell. Yeah. Dan Campbell.
Campbell.
I was thinking of another Campbell, but
nope, you got it.
Yeah, but Dan Campbell did. I love that guy. Like he won me over with his first press conference. With his first press conference, he won me over, and then Hard Knocks this year sent me over the edge.
Yes. He was probably, outside of maybe Rex Ryan, he's probably the best watch when it comes to coaches on Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
like,
and
that man and the things that come out of his mouth are absolutely insane.
But also, it's just
here for it.
The Lions just with redemption. Jared, and not just this team players.
Jared Goff,
Swift.
I mean, yes.
I mean, dude,
TJ Hawkinson out here doing
TJ Hawkinson. I mean, even Dan Campbell from last year. Speaking of big game, doing nothing. Now look at them. I mean, dude, they beat the Vikings. The 10-1 Vikings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying about the cracks showing in Minnesota. But I mean, that's a divisional game too. Like, you can never take a divisional opponent lightly. No. Period. I don't care who you are.
And like
look what the Broncos just did yesterday. Lightly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, we're saying
because they know we play them. They play them close every year. They know that they can't take it lightly because they know they could get upset. It's not that they're going out there just and go, oh, we're losing now, we need to try. No, they're trying the whole game.
So with all this being said, coaching and all that, after yesterday, do you have any inclination to keep Hackett around, or would you be more wanting to see what is out there and then go from there?
I want to go a little 50-50 here. I want to go a little 50-50 because he showed some things yesterday, especially coaching-wise, that I liked. But there's still options out there I would love to see them explore, but I still need to see more before the end of the season before I want to say 100% on Hackett. But I want to – but it's like there's the two guys I'm looking out there for head coaching spots, and that's – and they were before I looked at your list with Sean Payton and Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn deserves another shot still, and I wish I kind of wanted them – if they didn't hire Hackett, Quinn was my second option.
All right, got you. And yes, don't feel bad. At least you didn't draft Trey Lance. I did that in my paid.
Dumbass.
Dude, it was a late round pick, and I know. I was just like, oh, he's going to get.
But you got the smart picks early, though. You did the smart thing early and took skill positions.
Yeah, that's what
I did.
Do. Yeah,
I mean, I took Jay Herbo first, though, like an idiot. But
if I'm falling and I don't feel like a wide receiver, running back, or whatever is right at that position, and like say like I'm Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert are available, I'll pivot and do something like that. But yeah, for the most part,
I got to steal.
I'm going to fill out my wide receivers and running backs before I go anywhere
I got to
else.
steal with Kirk Cousins in the 7th.
Yes, you did. I've been writing Mike White for the last 4 weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry about yesterday.
I still won.
I know you still won, but I mean, we don't know if he's going to play them.
I know.
He got sent to the hospital. I didn't know that until this morning.
I know, for internal injuries. But yeah, my backup is Matt Ryan. Like those are my quarterbacks right now. Mike White and Matt Ryan.
I mean, hey, not bad. Matt Ryan's still been heating up.
Yeah, I don't know how I've went on a 4-game win streak, but shut
the hell up. You got Jonathan Taylor.
Well, no, this is my paid league, but there I have Christian McCaffrey and James Conner. Those are my 2 running backs over there. So those have been eaten for me. And I got lucky. I snatched up Samaje Perine while Mixon was out those 2 weeks.
That's a sneaky pick too. That's a good one.
And it was so funny because the week I snatched him up, my opponent had Joe Mixon. So he tried to trade with me. I'm like, no, screw you, dude. And I won. Out. Yeah, I won. So he lost the 20 points from not having Mixon, and I got the 22 points from P. Ryan and beat him. It was so sweet and delicious.
Dude, I wasn't there for the draft. What were the prizes that you're talking about?
Oh, for ours, it's the winner gets a trophy. I got a trophy.
Not gonna be me.
Gonna be somebody
next year, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I have a 50-50 chance of it ending up in this house because both me and the wife, this was not rigged. Okay, people, I did not rig it, but me and the wife are both in the playoffs, guaranteed. Like there's no doubt we are in the playoffs.
Oh, I think I'm in
her
definitely.
And Sambo. Yeah,
I'll
Callie, it's kind of you and Callie is kind of up in the air. I don't know the tiebreakers right now. I don't have the time to look them up. So, but we'll find out.
I was looking at her,
and we'll update.
I was looking at her squad. I mean, she's got Justin Jefferson, so that's like the one thing I'm scared of the most.
Yes, but that was what was funny is that Jerry Jeudy and Justin Jefferson had the exact same point total yesterday, 33.3.
I was gonna say you didn't get Jerry from me. I didn't draft a single Broncos receiver.
I thought you did, but I got it from somebody else.
I don't. I remember somebody took Jerry early, but somebody took Jerry early, and they were in our division. I thought. They were in our conference.
I thought it was you, but I was obviously wrong. It was somebody else did. But
I'm glad I didn't draft Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't draft him, but I'm happy that I was able to pick him up off the waiver wire.
And I'm glad I was actually able. And I picked up Dalton Schultz off the waiver 2 weeks ago, and he's been scoring a lot of points.
It's her fault.
You did make the smart choice of dropping him, though. That was a smart choice until today.
She did it,
yeah.
But I think she dropped him to get Ezekiel, if I remember right. Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, I need to get rid of DJ Moore, dude.
Hey, that 30 points yesterday was clutch. Even though I mollywopped Callie.
Dude,
I beat her.
Guess how many points DJ Moore got me?
I can only imagine. I know he had a huge
0.6.
game. A super huge game.
Dude, thank God. Dude, Stephon only got me 6.7. Thank God Miles Sanders popped off and got me 28.
Yep.
I think I'm going to have to go look for a receiver this week.
You might. We'll see. We'll battle for them and we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But no, talking about coaching candidates here, the ones that are available at this point that have been talked about in circles and that I have verified with my insider that the Broncos would be interested in if they were looking. Let me be clear. We were talking about if. We don't know. We have no confirmation that they are going to get rid of Hackett. I don't have that information, but I have.
That's an end of a season thing.
Right. That these guys are on the list if they go that route. So they are Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, Sean Payton, who everybody knows from previously of the Saints, is now technically a free agent, but
yeah, his contract's up after.
Yeah. Well, no,
oh no, it's not.
Still have to trade.
Yeah.
He still has one more year on his contract. So if he comes back this season, the team that acquires him would have to trade for him lot like when John Gruden was sent from at the time Oakland Raiders to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he won the Super Bowl.
But I mean, Sean Payton I would love to have him, but it's just a dicey move, especially between
because you'd have to give up that first round pick that they just got for Bradley Chubb. That first round pick would have.
That's why Dan Quinn's more plausible.
Point. Yeah, that would be the starting point. They may have to give up more. But next up is Dan Quinn, as Dylan just said, the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
Former Atlanta head coach.
Yeah, former Atlanta head coach, 28-3, all of that. Next up would be the in-house option, Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator. And then the last one would be Leslie Frazier, who is the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. So those are the candidates. Two are three defensive and two offensive.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I just say take the best candidate. We've tried defensive minded. We've tried offensive minded.
And that's how it should. And honestly, that's how it should have been. Is who's the best choice at that time? I do think Hackett still was the better choice.
Yeah, I mean, I even with hindsight, I think you make the move. I really do think that you go and you get out of the candidates that they had.
Hackett was the best.
Brian Daboll was an option, or somebody like that. Kevin, the guy from Minnesota, their new head coach.
Oh,
I forget his name. I want to say Stefanski, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Smith,
the head coach.
Oh, okay, yeah. 1 sec, I got you.
I can't think
Kevin O'Connell.
Right now. Yes, Kevin O'Connell.
Hey, hell of a job, dude. Coach of the year for sure.
Yeah, he was the only option I might have taken over Hackett. But him and Hackett at that time, their resume was almost identical.
But also remember,
had not been calling plays. They were both offensive coordinators for head coaches that called plays. They had not called plays in several years. In O'Connell's case, he had never called plays at any level. At least Hackett had called plays in Syracuse and would have been in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, he did.
Place. Yeah.
And but one of the things was too, it was, and people were like, why don't we take him? As like two different situations, completely different situations.
I think we have a consensus from the New Orleans folk. Sean and Sean.
I mean, I would love it, but it's just I'd have to see what you have to give up.
Right, and I mean,
at this point, I would love for a Dan Quinn to come in if Hackett is gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at Dan Quinn. I think that would be a little bit of a middle finger to most people from Peyton is like, and because like everybody was talking about Dan Quinn would have been nepotism and blah, 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 blah. That's why they never really brought him in and took him as a serious candidate. But I mean,
but you know, if you
at this point, I think you're right. I think he does deserve a second chance.
I mean, look at how it ended in Atlanta. It wasn't even on his terms.
Better.
Yeah. The way he ended in Atlanta, I will gladly go out and say, and plenty of Falcons fans I've heard say, wasn't his fault. And look at the team he had to run.
Yeah. He wasn't calling a weak offensive game plan. That was Kyle Shanahan. I don't
Yeah.
want to throw shade at Kyle. I love Kyle.
Well, Kyle was out of there before he left.
No, I'm talking about the 28-3. That's
Oh,
what
yeah. No, that was Kyle Shanahan's
That's
fault.
what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like that 28-3, like he
because
did
Dan
his
Quinn
best
was defensive play
defensively.
caller.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do when not Wes Welker, Julian Edelman makes that catch?
And also, how you're playing against Brady? How do you game plan against Brady in a Super Bowl? That stuff you don't game plan against.
And they did a great job up until the middle of that third quarter. They were up 28-3.
I mean,
they held the Patriots to 3 points up until I think it was like what?
And that was unheard of that season. Yeah, that was that dominant Patriots offense. But then you think about next season,
they were ranked like second in scoring.
And then next season they were ranked first.
Yeah. So
Brady got back-to-back MVPs that year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or no, did he 51?
He got at least one.
Who won the MVP? He got it before 52 when they lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'll go look at past MVPs.
Tom Brady, Super Bowl MVP you're talking about?
No, league. He got league for 52. I know he got MVP for 51 for a Super Bowl MVP. But league MVP, I'm trying to think of if he was that year or not. Nope, that was no, that wasn't Mahomey. Matt Ryan got the league MVP in the year they lost the Super Bowl.
That they won, yeah.
So it went Matt Ryan, 07, Brady, Mahomey, Lamar, and 2 A-Rods.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think Tom ever won it back to back.
Yeah, no. I thought but he was in the conversation that year. It was down to him and Matt Ryan that year.
Yeah. He's won 4, but he never won any back to back. They all had at least 3 years in between them. But yeah.
Jesus, dude. Just go look at Peyton Manning's, dude. You just look here, 03. P Money, 04, P Money. Oh, yeah, he tied the first year with McNair.
P-Money, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Air McNair. Yeah. Man, I missed that.
Yep,
man.
He, in 2003 and 4, back-to-back MVPs, one with the tie, 08 and 09, and then 13.
Yeah, so it seems like most of us agree Sean Payton's probably the best choice.
But more plausible.
I would love to see Sean Payton running the offense and Evero running the defense. I think that could be
hands down. He brings Evero back if he's there.
But that's the one thing that worries me about Dan Quinn, because if he comes in, Evero's gone, because the defense that Dan Quinn runs is completely different.
But who knows? I wonder.
I mean, there's
never
a chance. But I mean, with Dan Quinn being a defensive coach, most of the time they want their defensive
but you never know, especially the way he's been running it. And he's talked about that Broncos D before. I've seen a couple of things that he likes whatever is doing over there.
Yeah, like I think that like the ability for Evero to be multiple, like he runs a 3-4 defense, but there's been games this year where he's run a 4-3 because of injuries along the defensive line and pass rushers, where he's had Draymond Jones as a defensive end in a 4-3. And that's the thing I like about this squad is I think that the defensively they're very multiple. Like they have guys that could play in multiple schemes.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing in another defensive coordinator wouldn't be scary for me.
No,
I would really like to see somebody keep a similar offense. Like it doesn't have to be the same offense. Maybe bring.
I wonder who he would bring in for an OC.
I would like to see Clint. I mean, you see how he's clicking with, but I mean, again, that would be up to Dan Quinn. But yeah, I think Dan Quinn's one of the more realistic. I would also like to see Jim. I think Jim Harbaugh would be a dark horse candidate. I would love a Jim Harbaugh. I love what he did in San Francisco.
Oh, dude, he turned them around.
Yeah.
From their slump from the 90s till the early 2010s, he turned them around hands down.
Oh, yeah, with Kaepernick and Alex
Smith. And even with Alex Smith before.
Yep.
But
they were a really, really solid team.
The thing is I couldn't trust if he said he would take the job, especially after last year, saying he would take the Raiders job too.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's just one of those things. Would he
really
after last year?
That? Yeah.
Yeah, but also then you think about it. Exactly. That was where I was going to get. Is you think about it.
You see what's going on over there right now. I mean, they beat.
But then you look at the Broncos. They're still appealing though, even with how horrendous it's been. He would go.
I mean,
Harbaugh, Russ is
Harbaugh loved Russell Wilson when he played Russell Wilson. Like, I mean,
and he likes those types of quarterbacks.
Yeah, the Niners kind of owned the Seahawks, but he always talked about how Russ was one of the hardest quarterbacks to game plan against.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and we'll keep it in the NFC West because we're going to start talking about the Cardinals here. We're going to move on to this last game before we get out of here tonight. Cards Broncos coming up this Sunday. Can this offense function with Brett Rippon?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen the bright spots of it. Obviously, with the first game when he played the Jets a couple of years back, 2020, and then even the bright spots went against the Jets. His 2 starts against the Jets. That's still hilarious to me. Just a couple of weeks ago, and then last night throwing an absolute dart to Jared Jeudy in the back of the end zone. Still, I mean, he's a good game manager, and you go out there and let your teammates make the plays, and you can just get the ball to them. That's all you got to do. Move the ball, manage the game. They can easily win this game, I think. And especially the defense stepped up, dude. They knew they've been slacking the past 2 weeks. They stepped up this weekend.
I mean, yeah.
In the second half, at least.
I was going to say, after they gave up 27, well, they gave up 20 points because 7 of those 27 points was a pick six.
Right.
That
but even early on in the game, they were holding them.
Switched it. Yeah. And I mean, think about that. They gave up 27 points in the first quarter and a half and then gave up 7 points to the Kansas City Chiefs for another 2.5 quarters. That's all that they did was give up 7 points to that team. So
and Jerry out there coming alive, dude. I feel like Jerry coming alive is going to be a big factor.
After he lost his mind coming off the field, he just went into
a
whole nother level. Yeah, I cannot believe that he did not get chucked out of the game.
I know, but did you hear what?
But thank God.
Did you hear what happened after? That same referee went up and talked to Hackett, and Hackett talked to Jerry. Like he was like because the referee told Hackett he knew it wasn't like intentional.
Yeah,
but still it was like calm down.
Right, like tell him to calm down because if that happens again,
right,
and he's
then look what he did.
You know what I'm saying?
3 tutties.
Yeah, he settled down, 3 tuds, and dang near helped the Broncos claw back and have what might have been probably the most magical win of the last few years. Like,
oh yeah,
the Broncos country would have partied like it was 1999.
Like
they they won that game. Yeah. Like
dude, I had one person I would have called and talked so much shit to.
Oh, so much. Oh, I got a couple. But yes, I agree with you. I believe this offense can function with Brett Rippon.
But I mean, with this D line,
commit to the run.
D line in Arizona, the only bright spot is JJ Watt, but even he's fallen down at the end of his career, which is so sad. That is the one man that deserved a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. He definitely deserves
the most humble player.
Right off like an Ndamukong Suh or Odell Beckham getting his. Yeah, he's
like
one of those guys that.
And he's just the most humble guy.
Yes, most definitely. But yeah, again, this offense can function. Brett Rippon can make it work, but they got to commit to the run. They got to take some of the weight off of his shoulders. The defense has to start hot, not get hot in the second quarter. The defense is going to have to play probably their best game of the season against Kyler Murray and DeAndre.
And I feel like they can handle Kyler if they were able to handle Lamar before he went down.
Lamar was actually doing some pretty good things. Hurt.
But they were still even like keeping him in check though. That you don't have to stop him every time, but keep him in check. You got to keep Kyler in check the whole game.
Yeah, they got to keep him in check. They got to keep him in the pocket. But if they allow him to go and run around and just do backyard football the way that they did for Patrick Mahomes,
and then we got a all-star battle. Sorry,
no, the all-star. What? I'm sorry, all-star battle of what?
Oh, sorry. I was cutting in and out. Another like all-star battle between Pat Surtain and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, that is one of the key matchups to watch in this game. I like the way that Pat Surtain has responded the last couple of weeks after getting burned by Devontae Adams and then the very next week getting burned by DJ Moore. I love the fact that he did not just lay down and in a bad season with.
I hated that DJ Moore let that up, but I'm glad he got me points for that.
I'm sure. But yes, the way that Patrick Surtain has responded is the exact way you want to see. Same thing with Damari Mathis. I want to see him.
Dude, Damari Mathis has done
continue.
nothing but improve since the San Diego game.
And so seeing him against
Or
Marquise
LA.
Brown is going to be a lot of fun. Watching, watching whether or not this defense can throttle down James Conner, who has been lighting it up with volume over the last couple of weeks. So there's a lot of good things, a lot of fun things that should be happening in this game to keep it entertaining. I think this is going to be a lot like the Kansas City game, where it's just back and forth and just insanity going on. But
and this one's in Arizona, isn't it?
Yes, or no, this is in Denver.
Oh, it's in Denver.
This is in Denver. Okay. In Mile High. But how did the Broncos?
Oh yeah, that's right. Last time was Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. We want them to start hot. We want both the offense and defense to start hot. But how do they finish? How do they complete a win? Because they've had so many this year where it was just within their grasp and it just ripped out of the jaws.
So this one is, for me, I feel like you got to keep the intensity up, especially like last week from the second half. But it's got to start from the first play, from the first offensive series. It's got to start. Whether you're running it the first play or you're throwing it the first play, you gotta make a statement and just finish. I think that's all I have to say. Is just you gotta finish. That's just been the key, or the summary of this whole season is not finishing. Gotta finish, and you gotta do it.
Yes, you gotta finish, but how do you finish?
And how you finish, and that is
physical running of the football, using Latavius Murray.
Yep, you're running the ball.
Mack,
you're using Brett Rippin
over the middle. Yes, quick throws, slants, outs, things to get the ball.
And then every once in a while, let Brett air it out. I'm not saying all the time, but you got to throw those short ones, and then you got to throw them off with a deep ball at least once or twice that game.
If the Broncos win this game, they are going to have more rushes than passes. That is how.
I believe that.
This game.
I believe that.
The secondary of Arizona is weak, but they still have Budda Baker, who is an ultimate ball hawk. But everybody remembers him getting hawked down from behind by DK Metcalf, but that is not the highlight or low light of that man's career. He is a 3-time Pro Bowler. He is a legit safety in this league. So you've got to be careful when you're chucking it over the middle. Like, yes, you want to use Greg Dulcich. Yes, you want to use these slants and things, but you have to be smart about it, because that man is very smart and he will get his hands on the football.
And besides him out there being a ball hawk, the speed on their secondary isn't the greatest either. But also the thing is you can let a Jerry or a KJ go down the field. I'm not saying like every play. I want them to run the ball more than passing, but let's throw it down the field a couple of times. But the one thing that secondary can do, and that they can do very well, is hit.
Yes. When I say I want to limit Pat, like I don't want to see him throw it 12 times.
I don't want to see a Jimmy G stat line.
Right, but I also don't want to see him throw it 30. If they throw it 35 times, it's a real.
I'm saying you throw it at least 20 times.
But yeah, like somewhere around 20. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So we're on the same page. Somewhere
and
around
like in that 20, maybe 2, maybe
rushes.
3 deep balls.
Yeah, and let Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack each get somewhere between 16 to 20 carries.
And let's get some passes to Marlon Mack too. Let's get a couple short passes, couple screens.
Let him, yes. I mean, that was one of his biggest attributes.
That was his specialty.
In Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yes. The fact that he was an all-around back. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's got speed. He's got shiftiness.
Throw it out in the flat. That's where he is dangerous.
Back. Yeah,
that is where Marlon Mack.
4-4.
Yeah, and that's where Marlon Mack is dangerous, is in the flat, dude. That's where he got utilized with the Colts the most, I believe.
He's still 220 pounds. And runs a 4-4. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and give our predictions here before we get out of here. I'll go first. It seems like every time I've picked the Broncos to win, they lose, but I'm going to do it one more time, because I did pick them to lose last week and they lost. So maybe I snapped that streak, and maybe we can start a new streak and the Broncos can finally win a game when I predict them to win a game. The only other game I predicted them to win and they won was the Jacksonville game.
Right. I was going to say
my projections for the Broncos have been terrible this year, but I'm going to go with the Broncos in this one. And I say they win it 24-17. 30-17.
Okay, I like
their
that.
second best game of the year.
For me, if we had a show, if we did end up doing the show last week, I would have picked them to lose as well.
I mean, how can you not?
Right, I would have definitely let them pick to lose, but
even Madden had them losing when I did the simulation, so it is what it is.
Right. So, but I'm going to go with a win this week too, because the defense, especially in that second half, stepped up. They're going to bring that intensity. I know Ejiro Evero is he's gonna dog on them all week. You know, he's going to make sure they're going out there, they're ready to go, and they're going to play with the intensity that they need to play with. Offensive side of the ball, whether it's Russ or Brett, I believe it's going to be Brett. I think you are too.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning as well. There could be a miracle happen, and somehow Russell Wilson's able to clear protocols before Sunday, but it's just looking very unlikely.
But Brett, let Brett go out there, let him prove, let him get some stock out there for other teams, or even for the Broncos to prove why he is a good backup. I feel like
to re-sign him.
Yep, and I feel like Marlon Mack and Latavius Murray are going to have a good day. I feel like they win this one 27-24.
Okay. I'm not mad at that score either. So, yeah, that would be
especially with the way the offense picked up. If they can do that against Kansas City, if they do that against Kansas City and they can't do that against Arizona, then something's wrong.
That's what I'm saying. That would make everything make even less sense than it already makes less sense.
Oh, dude. And one thing that made me mad yesterday
Go ahead.
is one of my friends posted on Snapchat, this is the most points they scored all season. I go, this must be the only game you've watched all season.
Yeah, but no, that is actually their
No, I meant before when they got tied it is when he posted it. They tied what they scored for it was when they got 20. They got 20 and they had scored 24 before. Okay. I was like, gotcha, you have not watched a game all season, I bet.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, it was 24. Yeah, because 24 points was the high in their first game against Las Vegas. But now it is 28. How about that? 4 touchdowns.
And how about 4 touchdown passes, bro?
Right. 4 touchdown passes on top of that.
Brett had the one.
Well, yeah.
Yep, he threw the 2 to Jerry and the 1 to Marlon.
Yeah, four touchdown passes between the 2. Yeah, exactly. That's where I thought you were going. But yeah, so there's our predictions. That is our thoughts for the week. One real quick stat before I go for all the people that were sitting there talking about the Broncos need to score 18 points and they would win. The Broncos are now 1-2 when they score more than 18.
They scored 10 more than they needed to. You said that they said you needed to score.
Yes, exactly, and they still lost. So all that y'all were talking about, the Broncos are a losing team when scoring more than 18. So your arbitrary numbers are exactly that. They're arbitrary. Please stop trying to make yourself sound smart, because I'm just going to keep making you look stupid. But I guess that is my job here as the host of the Breakin' Broncos podcast. That's my co-host, Dylan Miles. With no cam. And for the answer is 42. Don't question the blue.